What's up? Welcome to 101.1 The Culture. Y'all know who I am. Y'all should know who he is, right?
That's right. That's right.
This is your dog, Bennie Hertz. And
And
of course,
your boy Ansky, you know what it is.
and today we decided to do a little something different, right? I know a lot of you guys see us do interviews. You see Ski out doing a lot of stuff in the community. And we decided just to come together because we really both started this, right? You know, this was kind of an idea that we've been talking about for a long time. And then we just kind of put everything together. And when I came with it, he was like, let's run it.
Hey, you know how I go, man. We've been in the music industry for a while and media. Got to shout out to Smash Bros. You know, they really gave me that bug and that opportunity to get my feet wet. And so when you brought it, like, hey man, we need to have our own platform, our own narrative. I'm finna make a pivot in. It was a no-brainer. So yeah, now what I do, I apologize for just not really getting active now. So Benny been holding it down 100. I can't lie. I want to give you your flowers, bro. You've been holding it down,
Man,
and
I appreciate
it, man. So I'm here. I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? Let's do it.
Man, that's what's up. And man, like you said, big shout out to Smash Bros and everybody out there because, you know, you were actually their first interview with Ralph.
That's right. That's right. That was huge. And he was for real, like the weekend before we was working on my project. And so the very next week he was like on to interview you. And then I felt like he was on WENN or somebody. Like he was a real
like WENN.
I took him so serious. I was like, wow, bro. Like he made me feel like I ain't never been interviewed before. For real.
Gotcha.
Yeah, man. So shout out to Ralph, man, the whole Smash Bros team for everything they did, man.
For sure. So today we ain't got no format. We just running it, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna tell you this. Life has been crazy for me for the last, I say the first half of the year, right?
Right.
You know, a lot of people, if you follow me, you know, I had back surgery at the very end of the year. Didn't work for like 3 months. Changing kind of what I do and re-strategizing because, you know, I'm in my 50s now.
Right. That's
you know
right.
What I'm saying?
That's right.
And I'm not just a young, I'm a young 50.
That's right. That's right.
know?
Hey, man, 50 years young. I'm still sophisticated. You feel? Hey. So,
sure.
Yeah, man. But I feel you, though, man. Transition is hella crazy, you know, is what we do with it.
Yeah. And even with outside of the Crescent and the culture, it's like I don't want to say 1 foot in, 1 foot out. But it's like, you know, life be life, and as everybody says,
That's
right? So I had to take care of some life issues and personal issues, you know, with health and things of that nature. And now I feel like, you know, things are starting to settle down to where I can actually be more involved in, you know, and I hate to say boots on the ground. I really don't want to say boots on the ground, right? Because I'm not the boots on the ground dude.
Yeah. But you pick a front and you active on that front. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like the cliche either, you know, but we was that before it was ever a term, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
So we was Nike Cortez on the ground.
Yeah, I used to rock the Cortez. You know, I might still have a pair, you know, stocked away for some, you know, for a special occasion.
That's right.
But man, it's good for you and I to just kind of like sit down, chop it up, go through what we go through, man, and you know, be able to kind of give the people a little bit of background and what you're doing, and just talk on like different issues because I mean it's been crazy when I think about all the stuff you do with the youth. And if y'all don't know, y'all may see me share certain stuff, but y'all really gotta follow Ansky Williams, right? Y'all gotta follow him. We're not gonna even talk about his musical background. We may get into some of that, right?
Right. Yeah, I'm feeling it. Now, you know? I'm feeling it. But I can say this, I think if we're gonna go background, we got to go all the way back. And speaking of all the way back, I've been missing my dog. I know we done had a lot of conversations, and today I found out he got 1 year left, man, before he come home, man. So that's who plugged us together. That's Atlantis,
sure.
man. Atlantis called me back in 2004. And was like, hey, man, somebody finna call you. I rock with him, man. His name Magic. You know what I'm saying? Just holler at him, see what he got to say, and I'm putting you on. That's my dog. I'm like, okay. So he hung up, and then you call, and so from that phone call there, that was like 2000. I want to say 2003, 2004. I want to lean between 4 because I was in school.
It was in 4.
Yeah, I was in school then. So we've been locked in with the music since 2004 with the Hot Note Rockin' Horse, South Side, like that album you put out, Bama, you know what I'm saying? With all the first people you came home with. Man,
that's crazy. I got a copy of it somewhere, right?
Yeah. So when we talk about how far we go back, man, we had to go all the way back to 2004. And in the history that you had with people prior to that set up the trust, that set up the relationship, you know, and that made it feasible to have us connected together, man. So shout out to Atlantis for that vision to say my dog got here and my dog just got out. Y'all connect together, man. And like I said, he got 1 year left. So it's funny that we even talking about this because I just looked him up this morning to find out where he was at, what's going on with him. So yeah, here we go.
He just had his G-Day the other day too. I happened to see him, where they ain't supposed to be on there, right? Yeah. But I saw him, personalized, digitized.
That's right.
Maybe not supposed to be there, but it was out there. So I shot him a happy G-Day.
Man, that's what it do. I missed that. I missed that. See, that's something else. We can be right here in the same lane, but not in the same vein. So I missed that. I would have loved to have seen that. But now that I know where he is, I know how to make it shake.
For sure. And you think about, like, when you talk about how we started, it's like we was both, and it's like we can see because you and I have been together, we see the growth, right?
Right.
Of each other, because we were both still kind of out there, still, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
but in different spaces, and we were able to just kind of work together, and everybody that we had around us at that time.
Right, I can say being around you and the fellas made me put that gun down because even though I was out, I mean, I know the environment and the climate that I live in. I picked my scrap back up.
Yeah,
But everybody being on parole and having to report and having to, still take urine tests, I couldn't jeopardize them like that. So I ended up putting the scrap down, man. And I ain't even really look at it, but that's what real love and real sacrifice look like. We had youngsters with us like Little Absolute and Dollar. They were young boys at the time. And trying to run with us, 2 little white kids trying to run with some seasoned, hardened convicts. We was mentoring them then. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So, and it wasn't just them; was a slew of kids that was coming through.
Yeah, we had a lot of folks coming through the stew at the time. You know what I'm saying? The old bomb shelter. The old bomb shelter.
The old bomb shelter, man. So we talking about our history and where we come from. Yeah, 2004 was the beginning. And we hit the pavement running and been going. So seeing you like with the credit clinics and man, you just always been on that financial literacy, on professionalism. Just being the crossing the T's and dotting the I's about everything you doing administratively as well as operationally. So, man, kudos, and you still doing it. And still doing it. Then changed with the brand to the 101.1 culture, and look where we are already.
For sure. And speaking of that, so I'm doing I'm gonna do the sync thing tonight, right?
That's right.
So if you're watching and listening, 7:30, 8 o'clock, y'all will see me go live. I'll let some people tune in.
That's right.
I'm really gonna run down sync 2025 style, right? So
right.
Just to give you a snippet, I've probably had 100 placements in sync licensing, and some of those include you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And, now as I've pivoted and I'm not really doing the management thing per se, or, trying to produce tracks for artists all the time, I kind of wanted to get back into sync. And so what I did, I re-immersed myself in the knowledge.
That's right. You have to.
Because I know the format. I've known the format for years.
Let me stop you right there. Yeah, I heard what he said. He said re-immersed himself in the knowledge. Man, self-education changes your values. Once you start seeing the value in educating yourself, your whole value system changes.
Right.
And so for you to have a desire and understand, oh, all you gotta do is drop it ain't the formula. You gotta immerse yourself. That means immerse yourself, cover yourself in the knowledge of the topic that you are aspiring to, and then you go after it, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. That's the part that need to be heard. You said it so articulately that maybe they missed, you know. Like we tell the little boys to change, but we don't tell them how to change. You tell them get a sink, and then you say immerse yourself in the information. Maybe that went over their head.
I don't know if it went over their head, but I mean,
with some artists,
this is what I'm gonna say, right? Because you can, that old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink.
For sure.
So my thing about what I'm doing now that's gonna be a little bit different. I'm gonna break off the knowledge, right? And I'm gonna give them the 101 overview,
right?
Like 101 the culture.
That's right.
I'm gonna give them the 101
right.
overview, right? But if you want to do the 102 version where you have mentorship and review and stuff like that, there may be a little ticket on that.
That's
right.
And
that's okay.
That's right.
Because you know what? And I'm gonna tell this story, but when I first got into it, I immersed myself. Then I bought a course.
I was gonna say you paid for education before.
Yeah. But if you've been to college, you pay for education.
That's right.
If your kids are in school, or even if you were in school, your parents pay for education. That's what taxes are. But we can talk about the city stuff and all that on a whole different level, right? We can talk about paying for education. Speaking of education, man, I've been seeing you and some of the brothers, going to the schools this year. So what has that been like?
Man, I remember being in school and feeling invincible. A false sense of security, a false sense of confidence because I was on drugs and carrying guns and had the accolades in the community, in the hood, that I step on some, and all of that was because of my shame basedness and my insecurity and my feeling less than and all of that. And when I see it in the kids, they don't have no idea that I truly see them. So once I make the connection, it's nothing that you can go home with and leave it at school. You take it home with you. You take them home with you. You bring them back the next day. You forge a relationship. It's all about relationships. So now them like my little homies, my little brothers, my little cousins, just depending on the level we intersect at, where I meet them where they are. But ultimately, I never leave them where they are. And so going into the schools, seeing them get suspended day one, they get to class, and I had to wait a week before I actually get to engage them, and then there's no more problems the rest of the school year, and they start excelling until they getting awards like the rest of the kids at school. And then they come and thank me and hug me and want to take pictures and stuff because they see they value in themselves and not just as a shooter or a slime or that stealing stolos, like they start seeing a real value in their minds, man. So when you said I can't lead a horse to the water, I can lead a horse to the water, but I can't make them drink, I used that line in a hook years ago, maybe 30 years ago, and I said, you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make them drink. You can lead a black mind to the wisdom, but you can't make them think.
I think I heard that bar before. I mean, that you may have busted that, but out. You know what I'm saying? Going back to when we first met, you might have broke that bar out.
Right. Then. So that's just a testament to the change. The change being inside of me. It just took longer than overnight for other people to see it and respect it. But I made a change inside behind the wall.
Facts. I look at you and like I said, I've seen the growth and the transformation. But we used to always have a saying, even when we used to do shows, we gonna give you what you want, but before we leave, we gonna give you what you need.
That's right. And then what's fun? I know. So when I was thinking about my partner, one of my inner cell partners, Ray Unsky was there.
Ray,
And
what's happening, Ray?
So I was telling Ray about Atlantis. I asked him had he ever heard him. So that show he was just in me. So I went to YouTube. When I went to YouTube and started popping all Atlantis stuff, our video from 11 years ago popped up at the foreign exchange when I put him on the show.
Yeah.
That was right before we went to New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So seeing that, that just kind of reignited that passion for my partner, man, and his craft. And we only did 6 months in the camp together, but our spirit merged, man, united, man, made us like you couldn't tell that y'all just knew each other for 6 months.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And see, when people you glanced over the New York thing, real light, right? But people don't know that y'all was really
stepping on folks. You know what I'm saying? We was stepping on them. We went to New York and stepped down, bro. Straight up. That's facts. What is Times Square?
Yeah.
Sunset Bar. Somebody. I was there like hipping on the managerial level with Atlantis, but somebody tried to approach him outside the club, and I hadn't rapped the whole time. Nobody even knew I rapped. Man, I was like, wait a minute, bro. I got your lightweight right here. Yeah. You got a show to do. Man, I stepped on that boy out there. Everybody's mouth hit the floor like, what? He's manager? You know what I'm saying? And then I went up there on the stage and never rapped. I was just his hype man. See, they don't know like that story, man. Shout out to Big Nuts Rip. Rest in peace, man.
What? Hold up.
Yeah, man. Done out of here, man.
No.
Yeah, Nuts out. Oh, man, rest in peace.
Big Gunny.
Yeah, man.
I did not know he was rest in peace.
Yeah, man.
Man, I saw him maybe like 6 or 7 years ago at the casino. He had hit too, right?
Yeah.
He had hit. Me and my wife, he walking by and he hit the machine. He had hit. And I'm just like, oh, you waiting on your bread? He was like, yeah, Magic, you know how he talk. Yeah, Magic, man, I've been playing this one for a while, and me and the old lady, we gonna grab something to eat. What you doing?
Yeah,
go drink something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's super cool,
man.
Yeah,
man.
And
he was, man, I did not know, man. And shout out to the homie, man.
I remember in prison, man, he was giving me the story about his partner Rough Rider them and Wah and them and all and DMX and all the stories and how they went to Detroit and just moving around up there on the East Coast with the work and they spun to something bigger and they pivoted, you know what I'm saying? And he came in as the bodyguard for DMX. And so hearing that, I'm like, it sound real,
It sound real, but folks be capping.
That's right, but now he put him on the phone, bro, and was like, spit something. And I talked to Wall on the phone. So that's another thing people don't know too. Like
that's what I was saying. You glanced over the New York thing, right? Yeah. But a lot of people don't. So I got me a little Wall story, right?
Yeah.
Because I guess can I say this now about how Wall
snuck in the prison, yeah. But now, guess what? Now, all of that.
I think the statute of limitations is up on that, right? I think it's been over 7 years.
All that transpired because I ended up leaving the camp and left the plug to Atlantis with Nuts. You know what I'm saying? And then Nuts ended up leaving. I guess they caught up together at another prison,
right?
And so that's when the second phase of this that and I can say New York always been tapped in with us in Alabama, man. And I don't know, we slow and they fast, and then like that they respect what it is, you know what I'm saying? So shout out to Yonkers,
Oh yeah.
And
remember it was the producer G.I. Joe that was up there.
Yeah. Shout out to them and why and they was 100. I can't lie, they was 100.
Yeah, because they did their thing to go here Atlantis, and he snaps, right?
Yeah, he snapped.
And then he was, because he called me.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, to make the connect.
Yeah, because Nuts, hey man, I need to come talk to you about Atlantis. I know we ain't never met. Yeah, so he comes to the crib.
Yeah.
And then he tell me everything, and then when he get ready to put Wild back on the plane after.
Yeah,
they done dipped in and dipped out,
right? Right.
So Wild meet me, and after that, me and Wild was communicating a little bit,
right?
And people don't really know that y'all was really supposed to be signed to Rough Riders, you in Atlantis, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, actually, when we got there, Atlanta, Wild finally get to this Powerhouse Studio. Shout out to Powerhouse Studios. We in Yonkers. Shout out to the brother that brought the sour diesel while we were there. But we in Powerhouse, and so Walk come in, and we, pleasantry, street pleasantry, what it do. But it wasn't like looking at no millionaire though. It's like looking at another street dude that that made some plays you just ain't never seen them.
For sure.
And so he hit play on the board. G.I. Joe hit play on the board to the stuff that was queued up, and he was like, he said, touch it up, and he was like, ain't nothing I can do with it. Like Magic Mix was 1,000. He ain't do that.
That's in the old school. When I was,
Yeah, but he couldn't do nothing to it. It was already written, and so Atlanta started with the set. You know what I'm saying? So he doing this song. He did the New York song. Then he did really, what is that?
I still have
Even Realer.
Yeah, Even Realer.
Even Realer, man. And Even Realer punched wire in the chest like, wait a minute. You dissing me. Nuts, you need to tell him what's going on. And that's when Nuts had to say, yeah, man, they wanted you, man, but I thought I could make something shake in California, on my own, outside of the crew, and they let me down, man, and that's what happened. He had to come 100. So that right there, that kind of put a damper on stuff. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna say this, and this is something that they don't know too. When you talking about the people in California when that was trying to do, those were the people that had bought Death Row at the time.
Oh, see,
you know what I'm saying? That we going way back before. This is before the Snoop thing is recent.
Yeah,
but there is another company that ended up buying Death Row, and Nuts was cool with them in some way. You know what I'm saying? But he was trying to get a deal, but really all their stuff was in limbo. It was it wasn't about artist signing, it was more about catalog.
That's right.
Right. So he was thinking that he can make a play there, and it didn't shake. But man, really, Wild wanted to sign y'all.
Yeah, man. And because he had the whole deal. Like, I had made songs for him and spit him on the phone, before I ended up going catching the train. And then he snuck in to see Atlantis. He like, yeah, these the two I want right here. Yeah. And Nuts had to tell the truth right there. And that night in the hotel room, now there's 2 nights in the hotel room. Yeah. The first night we hit town, and we go see the studio and stuff like that, and go see some of Nuts' family. Then we go to the room. The room is like a crash motel right down the street from the hotel, from the studio. So we in the trenches.
Y'all right,
you know what I'm saying? And it felt like we was in a cell, 2-man cell.
Wow.
And we sitting there, we couldn't even go to sleep that night talking about, bro, if this it, this forever. Like that conversation that we had that night, not knowing what the next day was gonna bring, it was deep. And then after we get there, all of that unfold, we still gotta go to the studio, go back to the hotel, get changed, and go to the club.
Y'all got the show
We got the show that night. So we go to the show. That's when I battled the dude in front of the club, ate him up, and then we go on the stage and we shut it down. So much so till one of the artists that actually won that they gave it to over us wanted to come to the studio with us, but he was scared to get with Atlantis because he knew you wasn't supposed to win that. Yeah. That was just your hood here wilding out for you, but you knew you weren't supposed to win. He gave Atlantis his props for his set. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that night sitting in the room, that conversation was the extreme polar opposite of the one before. When we knew we had shut it down, we knew we brought our best and highest energy, but it was to no avail.
Yeah.
Because Nuts had already
kind of sabotaged the situation, trying to do something.
So this go around was trying to clean up move, but it wasn't no clean up move. And then your homeboy don't want to sign nobody that just dissed him that hard.
Yeah.
It was a smooth diss. It was smooth, but nah.
And then Atlantis, I think it went back because he rapped. He had a song with what's the battle rapper dude?
Murder Mook.
With Murder Mook. Yeah, him and Murder Mook had a song together.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? And I think I still got that video.
Oh man.
If I go back, I have to grab one of them old hard drives or something, right?
Yeah.
Because I got that video, and then he didn't want it on camera, so I never put that video out. But this was when Wa's son was little, and Wa's son was rapping in the studio.
Yeah, man.
I might still have that video. Why, if you ever see this, I might just put the snippet out and tag you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I
That's
might
right.
still have that video, man. Because you know his son rap now.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Wa's son rap now. He fire.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
for
mean,
real.
okay, I would expect him to, you know what I'm saying? But now that's just history on how far we done came, man, and what we done been through, man. Gangsta Rap Friday, you remember that?
Man.
Hey, man, we done so much, but now at the same time, I want to say this. One of the main reasons I asked for you to do this video was for a few reasons: the state of the city, the state of the Crescent, you know, and
For sure. What's up?
and our role in it. You know what I'm saying? When we came here, but many of y'all don't know that Benny sat down to the table with me. You know, the first time I discussed taking over the building with Brother Walter. And we formed the Christian Cultural Community Center as a nonprofit organization legally together as my treasurer. So Benny is one of the founders of the Christian. He humble him, you know, let it stand in front of him. As a matter of fact, like he just mentioned it whenever he feel like it. Like it's not something that it's not something that, you know, you wore with a badge of honor or
Well,
that
I'm
you
gonna say,
didn't.
but you know, I feel like it is a badge of honor to be here. You know what I'm saying, and to be able to say that I was here when it started.
That's right.
You know,
That's right.
my everything I do now is like I done did to blow my horn. If you know me, you know me. If you don't, you'll get to know
no
me
doubt.
through my work. Let my work speak, right?
That's right.
And so the things that I've done and the people that I've touched, they know. And
That's
and,
right.
and that's what matters to me.
That's
You know,
right.
because the other ones that come through the process eventually they'll get a chance to know me and they'll get a chance to know what I do.
One of the things I like to tell the people you work with, shout out Black Son. Ain't that his name?
Yeah, Black Son.
Black Son saw me in, I ain't never met the dude. You know, he saw me in Walmart and I'm talking about made me feel like a real celebrity, man. Then start counseling me, you know what I'm saying? Encouraging me. I was like, man, I appreciate that, bro. Like, I ain't trying to big outlive you, and then I just soaked it in. Like, man, appreciate the acknowledgement and the encouragement, bro. You know what I'm saying? But when I think about the people you have touched, I like to run into them because I like to say I was the first one that didn't listen. So I had to come back around.
What you say? You was the first one that didn't listen to me.
The first one that didn't listen to you, and it wasn't that I didn't listen to you. Maybe I didn't know how to execute some of the stuff that you was giving me, game that you was giving me. You know what I'm saying? But as I started doing it, I was able to say, "Bro, you was right. Bro, you was right. Bro, look at what I did. Bro." Then I ain't even had to say it. You start seeing it. It was like, now you get it. Now I like to see the folks and be like, "Hey, bro, listen at them, bro.
Well, I'm gonna say this.
Execute, bro."
I'm gonna say this, right? And I want to get back to the Crescent and everything. When you talk about the people that I've touched and saying you're the first that didn't listen and then you got it or whatever, right? And I've gotten calls from people.
Yeah.
I had Absolute call me one day. It was like, man, if I'd have listened to you, we'd be a millionaire. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm just like, I appreciate it, and I hope that you continue on your thing. I've had other people that have come back and spoken to me, and not that I have a bitter heart because I don't, right?
Right.
But sometimes in my journey, I know that when I pivot, it's a hard pivot. I said when I make this left,
That's right. That's right.
you know, it's either you on board or you not. And it's not that I don't care. It's the fact that I've given you my piece.
Right.
You know, and it's up to you to do with whatever I've given you. Disregard it, use it, learn later, whatever it is, right?
That's right.
Or say that I was wrong.
That's right.
You know, whatever it is, right? And I can accept if I'm wrong. But some things are for a season.
That's right.
You know, and some things are forever. You know, and you and I have been together rocking out. Really, we talking about 21 years.
21 years.
That's why I
year.
said we on a 20-year run.
That's
and
right.
we ain't always seen eye to eye.
That's right.
You know,
that's right.
I've had people come to me, Ski said this, and I'm like, all right.
Right.
And I'd be like, you know, we straight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I might feel a certain way. He might feel a certain way. We straight. But as we grow and we men, we didn't have sit downs to where you didn't came to the studio and said, I don't like how you handled that right there, Magic.
That's right.
You know, and I was like, man, I apologize for the way I did it.
That's right.
I said, it don't change the way I feel.
That's right.
But
that's
the way
right.
I handled
that's
it was
right.
wrong.
That's right. And
then you done came, and then I done came to you
that's
and
right.
said, hey,
that's
Steve.
right. Let that shit go, bro. I used to hold them grudges to the end. Yeah, hard. Yeah, we didn't have them conversations, man. But I think that's what iron sharpen iron mean, though. You know what I'm saying? So if you can't do that or you don't have that, then you not iron.
Oh man, you really got what to lift this shit
go, bro. Yeah, man.
And we still about to turn.
Right. At an award show. Like,
shout out to Birmingham Jay.
That's right.
Shout out to Jay.
And we was able to make that up right here at the Crescent all them years later, bro.
Oh yeah.
Man, that's what I'm talking about. Real conflict resolution, man. Me and Jay was able to squash our differences, man, about 4 years ago now, 5 years ago almost, man. So, you know, it ain't no way that I didn't see this coming. I should have saw this coming, but I didn't. And
well, people don't know this. I'm gonna say this about Ski, right? If y'all watching, y'all still watching. One day, me and Ski was talking, and he said, "Man, I'm praying to God to give me a building."
Yeah.
He said, I'm praying for a building.
Yeah.
He said, "Man, I really want to be able to have a building so I can embrace the people and give them a safe environment and be able to do this." And he said, and I said, well, when you get it, you know I'm there.
That's right. That's
You know
right.
what I'm
And
saying?
I was looking at a building ends on 19th Street,
Yeah.
put in for it and everything, man.
And this one comes about, and it's like, it was perfect. You said, Magic, I got it.
That's right.
Magic, I got the building.
It's on.
I need you. And shout out to Deontay.
That's right, Deontay. T-Pain.
T-Pain.
That's right.
You know, he was here too. So when you talk about the Crescent and the people that you've touched, we ain't even talking about your role with Restore.
Oh, no, not yet. Yeah.
You know, like I say, y'all don't realize, and I said, man, get this dude his flowers, give my brother his flowers. He a real legend, you know, a living legend when it comes to the music scene. Now he's taking the music, and now we have a community center, and now he's touching the people, and you know, violence interruption, and going to different states, talking about the needs that we have here and taking it on a national and even an international level. Because I know there's been some international talks as well. And from the outside, some people are like, oh, it looked big. And then some people will try to downplay what you do for whatever reason, right? And it ain't always been perfect.
That's right.
But and Ski still going,
man. Shout out to Sam Peasy. Had the production on 2 of my last singles, Man Business, you know, that was considered for a Grammy. Never made it to the nomination phase, but it was considered. And so I'm definitely grateful for that. That was a real high. And the only reason why that happened is because I was trying to teach the kids in the class, the artists, how to create a song from thought to fruition. And nobody could get out of their own way with the lyrics. And so I had to show them. And in showing them, we went on to showing them the video. And, you know, really going from a concept to actual design, to actual tangible video, music production, song production. And the song took off. And now I think I may have 1K views or whatever, but I made the right song that got in front of the right person. So it wasn't about millions of people hearing it. It was the right person hearing it. And the killing part is, I knew this person all my life. I just never really said the right thing to get their attention, for them to consider it. And so, man, I'm grateful, man. So to artists out there, All you got to do is drop it. It's not the formula. You got to drop it, but that ain't all you got to do.
It's a lot behind that, right? But the thing is, with that record, it was you, but it was meant to touch and inspire the youth where you can show them, number one, I can make a song that's really talking about our mantra.
That's right.
Business,
that's right. That's right.
That was the mantra for the kids that you were mentioning, right? It's called "We Stand on Man Business."
Stand on man business.
And so you made a song about that and took that idea, turned it into a concept and a song, beat, song, recorded, mixed, mastered, video, promoted. Then it gets in front of what, judges?
Yeah. So, and that's something you taught me a long time ago. You was like, the people buy into you. They hear your song and then they want to buy into you. What are you selling them? What are you leading them to? And so, or you have your real life and you want to lead them to your music, but what are you doing in your real life to establish that fan base, to establish that target market? And so with my real life, elevating the way it has through mentorship. And so I started developing a new fan base for my music. It was more blue collar and white collar, the real movers and shakers in the city. And I don't mean the music business. I mean the movers and shakers in the city, as far as politics, as far as government and business, corporate business, blue and white collar.
Black dollar.
Right. So
they didn't even get that one.
And so you look at that from the moment I dropped that, showing them what black pop-up shops and black support really look like. The pop-up shop market blowed up 1,000%. Right. I ain't trying to beat my chest and take credit for that, but I know for a fact that we were not supporting each other like this until that song dropped.
Facts.
So I'm just grateful. That's just with the music in, man. I still try. Before I even get in the building, I was mentoring artists and musicians every week, remember, at the club. Yeah. So I should have seen this coming, but I didn't see it coming.
And I was doing the same thing because I was working with Jamarie.
That's right.
And he was bringing all the kids to the studio.
That's right.
So I was working with the kids in the studio. My whole thing, I used to tell Jamarie, I was like, listen, if their grades ain't right, they can't come.
That's right.
And he was like, huh? I was like, I understand that you want to bring these kids to the studio, but if we gonna mentor them and do this really for the studio, let's make sure that their grades are tight.
That's right.
So we had kids that were aspiring to do better in school and not mess up in school. And Jamarie, he and I were partners in what he was developing. You know what I'm saying? I can't take credit for it. He brought them to me.
Right.
And then we got a chance to work with these kids. And now one of the kids that I used to mentor, he's like a manager at Publix or something like that. And he just got married.
Oh man, that's what's up.
And he went to school. I think he went to work for 95.7 at one time for a minute.
That's the payoff right there.
So to see him go from trouble kid, and he was a lyricist too. You know what I'm saying? He was a young kid. I'm looking at him. He ain't spitting the usual. You know what I'm saying? He was, he spit. He leaning kind of effed up. You know what I'm saying? For real, right? And so when I'm working with him, next thing you know, I hadn't seen him in a while, and he says, "Hey Benny, what's going on? I'm going to Miles." Okay, cool. I see him go all the way through Miles and get his degree. Then I see him get his job, and he was in communications. The next thing you know, hey, Mr. Benny, I'm fit to go ahead and get married, man.
Yeah, that's 100 right there, man.
And I get some of the youth to come back and call me. Another young girl, her name was Makalu. She was like EDM pop artist. This year in Birmingham, young girl. She's like, I think at that time she may have been 16, and she kind of left the mentorship, but she stayed in touch with me, and she was producing then. She producing records at like 15, pop records. Wow. And so shout out to Makalu, MAKALU. I think that's if you look her up on Facebook, I think she's doing makeup now. Like she's a makeup artist. And so I love to see these kids that I was working with doing something positive, with their expression of art, whether it's through music, whether it's through writing, whether it's the makeup or whatever it is, right? Even if it's not the music, I hope that I was able to instill in them something to stay positive, stay focused, and follow your dreams and be a good human being.
That's right. Man, speaking on that, man, I got to give a huge shout out to the city of Birmingham, man.
Okay.
Matt Wolf and Uche Bean and Dr. Davis, Jamila Davis from the Institute of Research for Social Justice in Action from New York. They was along with Miles College,
Okay.
Rise Up Birmingham Summer Camp. It's for city of Birmingham teens, and we have some at risk and some high risk teens in that summer camp. And it's 30 days, not the average 1 week summer camp. This 30 days is earn to learn, where they paying you X amount of dollars an hour, and it's for teenagers. That's a pretty good pay. I ain't gonna put their business in the street,
For
but
sure.
it's a pretty good pay, as well as each of the teens have the opportunity to present a business model and earn $500 funded free grant money to fund their businesses. And so,
wow.
on top of having an opportunity to win $100 a day for participating in class. And so I want to shout out a couple of my Restore guys. You know, they standing up. I can't call their names and then like that, but I can say put the press down and stay hungry. Y'all know what that is. You know
Put
what I'm
the
saying?
press down and stay
Put the
hungry.
press down,
I
man.
might have to use that.
Yeah, and stay hungry.
Put the press down and stay hungry.
Yeah, man, there's two different individuals right there, man, with their clothing brands and their business models. And one of them is put the press down, and the other one is stay hungry. So shout out to everybody in the class, and for sure, them youth, man, they really intelligent and being able to bring out the best, connecting them to their highest potential. That's what it's about, man. If you're not doing that, what are you doing?
What are you
What are you
doing?
doing? But I had to just, when you start talking about the what you all did, because we did that here, remember? You and Deontay ran a summer camp and was empowering the kids, teaching them about the music business. And so, and we're going to continue to do that. I think that's one of the major components. Sports is not as attractive to the kids these days. It's gaming, it's media, it's music, you know. So
Correct. And the other side of that, I'm thinking about, because we're the studio's almost done as far as what we need to do here.
That's right.
And then the next component is bringing those at-risk youth, and even if they're not at risk, right?
Right.
Even
Interested.
interested, right? But I'll say this: I think all of our youth are at risk. I just think there's different levels to what we consider at risk, right?
Exactly.
And so once we get them in, I want to be able to foster their growth and their highest potential through not just music. I mean, so if y'all don't know, my first company was called Bomb Productions, right? And it used to be Black Owned Music Brigade.
That's right. Black Owned Music Brigade.
And so we was really on something crazy. I don't want to say it was crazy because it was what we did, right? And then it evolved into building owners in the music business. Still Bomb, but building owners in the music business. And my thing with ownership is not just about owning the music. It's about owning who you are.
Who you are. That's right.
You know, it's about owning
your narrative.
Your narrative. Being self-accountable.
That's right.
When you have that talk in the mirror in the morning, right? Are you going to be better than you were yesterday?
That's right.
Are you going to acknowledge what you didn't do yesterday?
That's right. Because if you ain't, we are.
and that's it, right? If you can't accept some criticism, because I get it, you know what I mean? I get criticism, and I have tough conversations with people that will hold me accountable for the way I acted, the way I presented something.
That's right.
Whether I did do or didn't execute, whatever that looks like, right? And I have to be able to say, you know what? I was wrong.
That's right.
Or what? I was out of line.
That's right.
You know what? I should have did this, or, you know, I always want my word to mean what to be able to stand on my word.
That's
and
right.
So I ain't perfect, but on the flip side, I know that when we bring our youth in, it's about having a curriculum and a plan
That's
to
right.
show them the end, an inside or what's the next stepping stone.
That's
I can
right.
get you from A to B. I can't make you into Drake.
That's
And
right.
or Kendrick. I'm sorry, we ain't gonna make nobody Drake. We ain't making nobody Drake.
Yeah.
But we can make. I can't make you into a Kendrick or whoever that star looks like, or a J. Cole or whoever, right?
Right.
But I can get you from A to B wherever you are. I can help elevate you a step or two
That's right.
through knowledge, consistency, and creating a plan that, if executed a certain way, you will see growth.
Yeah, I think, man, if it was something that I could tell people, artists, anybody in general, it would definitely be educate yourself and remove the contradictions from your life.
Man, that's a tough thing. What you just said, remove the contradictions from your life.
Right.
Break that down, man. Because I'm like you try to say, I said something that might go over their head. You just said something that might really go over their head, right?
Well, I can say this. Think about it in this regard. Do you go to club every week? You go to club every week. Do you need gas money every week before the end of the week is over, before paycheck time?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a contradiction. You living outside of your means. You go to club every week and you stunt like you got it, but you borrowing $5, $15, $20 worth of gas money. I get back to you on payday. That's a contradiction. That's believing in Santa Claus that don't exist. You believing in an Easter egg and
an egg coming from a bunny.
yeah. So it's so many things that you can remove the contradictions from your life and start seeing it align with the universe and with your intentions and with your purpose. Like, but the noise. That's how you get out of your own way, and that's I had to learn that how.
How do you get out of your own way?
How do you get out of your own way? Remove the contradiction from your life.
Ooh, because if you're on a path, right, or there's something that you want to attain, right, you can do some of these things. But if you got something pulling you over here and something pulling you over there, and it starts to pull you away from
your purpose,
staying the course.
Staying the course. That's right.
It's contradicting.
It's contrary. That's what they say.
What you say?
It's
contrary to common beliefs.
Right.
Contrary
Right.
to your lifestyle.
So
if you engage in those things, or even, and I'm gonna tell you this, mental engagement in those things, right? Because most of us have to think it before we do it, right?
Right.
Or we should just be reacting.
That's right.
After you get a certain level of maturity. That's the one thing I talk about when it comes to growth, right? And anything in life, as a young child, you react to things because you don't have a pattern of thought process, or so you think you don't, right?
Right.
But as you become older, when something happens, do you just react, or do you think it through before you make a decision? And I think a lot of times we react and then we think about what we did.
And so I'm glad you saying that, because one of the things, and I just thought about it while you was talking, but if you think about people who readily take accountability, think about their demeanor, less stress, calm, very few things rile them up, because number one, if it's anything wrong that they done, they gonna take accountability.
Right.
Number one. And accountability means I was responsible. I was being responsible so I don't be held accountable. So once you see a person that has a certain level of accountability, their stress level is down. But when you look at somebody who never takes accountability, man, they always uphill. They all high blood pressure, overeating, stress drinking, and all of this because they refuse to be responsible or take accountability. They run hand in hand.
It does, and oh man, we could go real deep with that, right?
Oh,
Because
no
I think
doubt.
about a lot of people do that. A lot of people do things because it was learned behavior.
No
right?
doubt, man.
Right, so
no doubt.
I always say you got to address the root cause. Because if you don't acknowledge where it came from,
That's right.
it's hard to build a plan on how to change the outcome that you're looking for, right? Because you don't know where it started. And some people got it from their parents.
That's right.
Some people got it from grandma, whoever raised them, right? You may have had a traumatic experience in your youth that you didn't have the proper coping skills.
That's right. And you passed the baton with blood on it. See, and then we call it a generational curse. But if we go back and unravel the dysfunction and see where it went wrong and implement a healthy coping mechanism, and you begin to pour love in the womb, you start nurturing the womb the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
And that's how you rid yourself of those negative coping mechanisms and generational curses by going back and unravel the dysfunction and see who passed down that baton with blood on it.
Ooh, so when you talk about unraveling and instilling positive and healthy coping mechanisms.
That's right.
So
I can give you a quick example. Watch this.
Okay.
So my mama, had a man friend at the time, long time man friend. So it wasn't just like, no fly by night. Mama didn't play that, But anyway, this particular dude, the first dude that showed me what $100 bill looked like, he taught me how to cut the lights back on when they cut the water, when they cut the lights off, how to cut the water back on when they cut the water off.
See, like, we really getting into something deep.
He was showing how to cut the gas back on, and then break the meter where it don't read. So now every time they come by, they see the lock, they see it stuck, but the gas on.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what he didn't teach me was keep a job.
He taught you how to when things was.
He taught me they gon' cut your lights off. They gon' cut your water off. No, they not. If I keep a job. If you had taught me to keep a job, these skills wouldn't be essential.
Right.
See, they became essential because they didn't say keep a job. So after I got out of prison, I kept a job. That's how I never went back.
Same.
That's how my lights ain't never got cut off.
Right.
And my water ain't got cut off. I put it in the song, remember?
Yeah.
My lights and my water on, except for take a bath.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So that's how you go back. Pole. That's right. Call him down off the pole to cut my cable back on. So that's just showing you right there how you go back and unravel the dysfunction. Yeah.
Well, that's really kind of deep, though, how you just broke that down. Knowing how to cut the water and the lights and the power on because you didn't have the money to maintain.
You had the discipline to keep a job. That part. That's why.
Man,
now,
I'm kind of like, ooh.
That's why now the first principle that I teach my kids is discipline. Without that, you cannot make it in this world. Without that, yeah, you're going to continue to go to the club and still borrow $20 on Thursday, but just to make it to work on Friday to get your check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you say discipline, I use that a lot.
Yeah.
When I was in my managing phase, and you've probably heard me say this, discipline is doing the things that you don't want to do in order to get to where you want to be, right? Meaning that, and I'm a sports guy and I used to work out. I don't look like it no more, but I used to have my tight build, right? And so when you first start going to the gym, the first time you hit some weights, you think that you hyped to go, right?
Yeah.
Day 2, you broke up, your muscles are tight and everything else. Now you don't want to go because you sore.
That's right.
But you got to have if you're looking to have the result of losing weight or to get in shape, you've got to have the discipline to go through the rough part. Right. You know what I'm saying? And so
I used to say, what I'm going to go and make myself tired for? I ain't finna go. Y'all go ahead.
What I'm going to go and make myself tired
I'm like, y'all, what you going to the weight pile for, bro? You just finna. You ain't got to go to work. You finna go work to make yourself tired. That's like another analogy I used to say. Why you gonna spend money to scare yourself These people that go to the scary house, Halloween, they spend $40 to get in there to scream, they pee on themselves. Why you spend money to do yourself like that? I could never get it, man. But I end up working out. I desired to change something. Mm-hmm. Then it began to make sense to me.
Were you sore second day?
Yeah, man, no doubt. I was working with Bo Rock.
Oh, man.
Yeah, shout out to Bo Rock.
Man. What's happening?
Shout out Bo Rock and DQ, Draper weight pile, man. Lord have mercy.
You go to work out day 2, you sore.
Yeah.
Man, come on, you got to come to the pile.
Hey, then listen, I be standing around. I come out there smoking the black and mild and then get in there, can't do but 3, and then get out. And don't go back. They like, you set busting. You can't come back. All that was in my song. I used to put all that in my music, man.
Did you say set busting?
Set busting. Y'all know what it is.
Man, we getting our workout in, man. Can I get in with y'all?
Hopping there with them 3 hot pumps and then broke the cycle.
Man, why? It's like you killing the whole vibe.
I don't come around here set busting skeet.
Yeah, right. Man. That's the, like I say, discipline.
Man, we need to come back, man. I enjoyed this, and I ain't even get out everything, but we got time. This is our spot. This is our thing.
What's one of the things? Because I know we talked a little bit about. You know what I want to get to before we go, because we still got a little time. I mean, we still run. I got time whenever I want to.
Right.
But I saw the Restore games.
Yeah, man.
So tell me about, because I wanted to go. I was in Georgia,
right?
But I wanted to go. So tell me what it was, how y'all executed it, and how did it impact the people?
What it was a celebration, is a culmination of this year's work. I think we were able to touch about 9,000 of our participants' touches, 9,000 touches between the team and our participants that drove down the recidivism rate in youth and crime and violence in youth. And so every quarter, shout out to my team too, man. Kerry Bunting, the executive director, Miss Arnetta Norfleet, Candace Littleton, Malaya Larry, Carmone Owens, Ronice, and Chloe, like the whole team, Malachi, Ray, Latanya, like the Crescent is very much involved in this, but it really takes a village to do what we do. And we touched those kids over 9,000 times, as well as fed them every time they came, and then imparted wisdom on them, from violence interruption to cognitive behavior therapy, anger management, emotional intelligence, like mental health first aid, like family center coaching. Like we impart so much into these kids, man, and connecting them back to their highest potential and removing barriers in their life. So this is what we do year round. And so in order to find that ecosystem with violence, public community violence interruption was that public model of like an epidemic, like a pandemic.
Okay.
It was affecting everybody and everything. So everybody had to come together, from the city of Birmingham government to the hospitals, to the system, as far as judicial system, the police, the courts, the schools, the libraries. The entire ecosystem of the city got involved. And this was year 3 of us doing the Restore games. It started as a block party right in front of the Crescent. Remember that? So the second year it evolved. The Restore games became the official Restore games at MLK and Hayes over there in Avondale. It was a wonderful turnout. We had some hiccups, but it was a wonderful turnout. Yet and still, the city continued to bag us. More and more sponsors got involved. The Crossplex, Max Bus, BPD, just using the Housing Authority, Birmingham District. Like it just continued to grow. The radio station, B949, WBRC 6, VTM 13, AL.com. You just name it, just continued to grow. They started seeing the impact in the kids and wanted to get involved. And thus the Crossplex got involved, and bow.
And so after Restore Games, what do y'all do? Is it like a competition?
It's almost like the world games for kids, so to speak.
Oh, okay.
And so
That's dope.
it's so many games. We had football, basketball, volleyball, axe throwing. You know, it's not real axes, but you know the axes on the blow up stuff. They had games all around the Bill Harris Arena, all around the Crossplex. You had resource providers, like I think over 35 resource providers. That's from health and wellness resource providers. The Crescent was also there with karate. Sahi on Kajona was there. Everything that we do. So every organization, Birthwell was there. You name it. If it was a resource that you needed in the community, it was there for you on hand. And so, as well as we had food trucks, free food as well. Man, just I can't even listen. Shout out to Partyology and Renee Price for putting that whole thing together. She was able to translate what the program is and what we do to the public and make it palatable and make it enjoyable for the public, man. Beautiful job. She did a beautiful job. Everybody was congratulating me like I did it, and I was like, nah, Renee put this together. So I'm just the program manager behind the real work of the program. But the Restore Games, it was all Renee Price, man. And her and her team with Polyology and the entire ecosystem in the city.
Man, that's powerful.
Yeah,
that's powerful. Man. And I'm glad we were able to be a part of that as far as the Crescent. I know Malachi, Latanya, yourself, Birthwell Partners.
Right.
You know, it's beautiful that we can be a part of stuff like that. And I hate I missed it.
Yeah. I want to say something, though. Something coming up real special, man. I was able to go to Atlantic City, you know, and go to Newark, New Jersey, and see some of the other models that's going on across the country. And it's a model, one hood model. And Birmingham has accepted that model. So I definitely want to plug them. It's a lot of things that was already in place, and this is kind of something that's been integrated into things that were already in place. So shout out to Jacoby Boss Williams with One Hood. Shout out to Raphael, all the credible messengers over there. Shout out to Free the Streets, Birmingham, FSB, and the Urban League. Man, there's so many organizations out here that's really putting in the grind to really change the violence in the state of our community. So One Hood hasn't even really exploded like it's going to, you know. I think it's the next level to what we need in our city, and that's credible messengers that's paid people on the ground all the time, living in the streets. So that way, after they leave us in these prospective programs in court and juvenile and a school, they got to go back to their communities where people gonna be in place already in the community, so we can have real dialogue in real time and transfer information to stop real crime in real time and police ourselves. We knowing that community policing is policing yourself. It don't involve the police. And I'm grateful that I was able to meet with Chief Pickett on yesterday on the panel, and we stood together in Black Power unity for our community, bro. That's something that's never been done, where a Black chief stood with a Black advocate for community together for Black Power, bro. Like, never been done. So I definitely want to shout out the new face of BPD, you know what I'm saying, for understanding who we are as credible messengers, as mentors and violence interrupters, and our place in community policing. And I think they love that. No doubt. I think they would love that because that helps them do their job even better.
Correct.
So, you know, shout out to Newark and One Hood and the Hub and all of the different moving parts that I saw. Mayor Marty Smalls from Atlantic City, Mayor Ross Baraka from Newark. Bruh, we talking about real iconic Black leaders in today's time.
We got to do it. Well, man, I think this was dope. What you think?
Man, we just getting started. Like, I do want to eat. We ain't never eat breakfast. We just
the breakfast is on the way. Listen, I appreciate everybody. If y'all tuned in, make sure you check it out. We're gonna leave the live up, but it is on our YouTube channel. On the YouTube channel, you'll see a lot of artists. But now you're gonna see me and Ski, and we're gonna probably do this at least once a month.
No doubt.
At least once a month.
It's just a start.
So 101.1 The Culture on all the platforms. You can go and listen to the station at 101.1theculture.com. You'll see the banner at the bottom. You just go there.
That's right.
Get the streams. That's the independent music. Interviews on YouTube and on our page. How do they find you on social media real quick before we dip?
Ansky, man, you know.
Is Ansky Williams,
Ansky
right?
Williams on Facebook.
Y'all see it down there. Ansky Williams. It's somewhere on the screen.
Yeah.
That's how you find him. Just type it in.
Yeah.
Crescent Cultural Community Center. That's online also.
Yeah. Hit us up on Facebook. Crescent Cultural Community Center as well. Restore. That's at I think it's info at jeffco.org. So that's info.
Is that their email?
Yeah, that's the info. I
But
want
if you type in Restore on Facebook or something, they'll come up.
You got Restore Workshop on Facebook, but I had kind of went off one time, so they had kind of muted me, and then I couldn't get back in there to delete it and all that, so I just kind of let it die down a little bit. So now we back. So I'm gonna try to turn it over to one of my media people to try to get them to run it, because I go off.
Ski had to hold somebody accountable.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, we getting ready to eat, y'all. I appreciate you. Love y'all. Remember, if you're watching this, if you're one of my regular people, 7:30, 8 o'clock, I'm going to be doing the sync thing, right, for the sync license. So make sure you tune in. 101.1 The Culture, and Ski and Bennie Hertz. We out of here.
Peace.